Welcome into Motorsports Monday. The NASCAR playoffs kicked off in style in Atlanta. Now the NASCAR Cup Series heads up to upstate New York for the twists and turns of Watkins Glen International Raceway. Watkins Glen, race 2 of 3 for the round of 16. Let's start this off with a look at the last lap of the first stage. Strategy means everything on the road courses, with most of the top 10 at the end of the stage being playoff drivers. Martin Truex Jr., who had a terrible week last week, picking up the Stage 1 win and collects important 10 stage points and a playoff point if he can advance to the next round of the playoffs. To the second stage, the class of the field early on, the pole winner, Ross Chastain, and of course the road course ace, Shane Van Gisbergen. SVG will be joining Ross Chastain at Trackhouse Racing next season. They dominate the second stage, but an untimely caution comes out with only 3 laps left. This means most of the drivers were able to hit pit road, leaving Ross Chastain and Van Gisbergen out on the track with old tires. That wouldn't matter though. SVG battles his way back to the front, but it's Chris Buescher who gets around SVG on the final lap. He is able to get the pass and hold off one of the best road racers in the entire world to get his first win of the season. He was pumped up after this race, able to pass SVG there on that final lap. SVG holds on to second after nearly spinning out, but it's heartbreak there for SVG as Chris Buescher gets the win. If you remember, SVG won the first ever NASCAR race on the streets of Chicago last year, and he will be joining Trackhouse Racing next season in a full-time ride after just running a couple races this season. He finishes second. Big surprise in third, Carson Hocevar. He comes up third place right behind those two, battling it for the win. Ross Chastain battles back to finish fourth, with Zane Smith rounding out the top 5. Not a single playoff driver finishing in the top 5 in points for this race. Here's a look at the NASCAR playoff standings with only 1 race left of the round of 16. The bottom 4 will be eliminated after Bristol next week. 3 former champions find themselves on the outside looking in: Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, and Martin Truex Jr. The advantage for Denny and Brad, those 2 drivers are 2 of the best at Bristol. Should be a fun one there in the hills of East Tennessee next Saturday night. If you're heading down to this race, share some pictures with us. I'd love to share them there next week. Here's a look at some local racing as well. Lake Cumberland Speedway hosting the Fall Brawl with $10,000 to win in the American All-Star Series race. AJ Hicks is your feature winner for that one. Peyton Harlow wins in modifieds and hobby stocks. It's Randy Hacker. Mini stocks, your feature winner is Dustin Duncan, and in Crown Vics, it's Jeff Roberta with the feature win. Lake Cumberland Speedway returns to action for Fan Appreciation Night next Saturday. $30 per carload for grandstand seats, so grab your grandma's station wagon and head on down to Lake Cumberland. We'll be right back after this break.
Motorsports Monday with Dillon Gaudet is brought to you by Camargo Transmission and Auto Parts in Mount Sterling.